Hi guys, it's Paula and I hope you are doing well. This video was inspired by a request from a project panner named Kell. She said that she is currently attempting to pan a black eyeshadow and she has been given the typical suggestions on how to use a black eyeshadow. For example, as an eyeliner and to deepen up the outer V and for Halloween. And she said, I need more. She said, I'm asking you and Amanda and Jessica simultaneously to do a video kind of discussing how to pan black eyeshadow. Now, of all people, I should probably not be the one to discuss this topic. I have never panned a black eyeshadow before, and I specifically avoided it in my Pan That palette for this year. So I don't know if I am the expert on panning black eyeshadows. I am not the expert on panning black eyeshadows, but I'm always up for a challenge. So Jessica, Amanda, and I decided we would do this video. This is already an unbelievably long video, I can tell. I've already filmed 3 different looks. I got a little carried away. So to keep this intro from making this video any longer, let me tell you right now, I ended up making 2 Franken shadows and doing a 3rd look with a black eyeshadow and something else on top of it. This is what my Franken shadows ended up turning out to be right here. Now, in general, I consider a blue eyeshadow to be almost as difficult as a black eyeshadow. Had I known now that mixing the 2 shadows that I mixed would have just turned a black eyeshadow into a blue eyeshadow, I would not have done that. It was kind of an oopsie doopsie, but I still think blue in some respects is more wearable than black. And I'm gonna kind of show you the tricks that I use to make this not as blue of an eyeshadow. So to get this shadow right here, this bronzy shade, which actually this bronzy shade is a lot like Smog from the Urban Decay palette. I'm kind of amazed that I managed to make Smog, which is one of my favorite eyeshadows from the Urban Decay Naked palette. It's right there. So to make Smog, I used some black eyeshadow, obviously. For the purpose of all of my black eyeshadow mixings, I went in with my Urban Decay Smoked palette and just took little chunks of this black eyeshadow. Now, despite the fact that I made 2 different Franken shadows, I only used a very small bit of this one pan of eyeshadow. So that gives you some idea of how long it actually takes to pan a black eyeshadow. I also used some of this Becca highlighter to make Smog, and this is the shade Opal. It was already cracked a little, so I figured why not try that out and see what color that makes. I do need to repress this now. For the second shadow, the blue one, I used the black eyeshadow from the Urban Decay Smoked palette, and I used a little bit of Purple Horseshoe from the ABH Moonchild palette right here. All right, I think that about covers the introduction. I hope you guys find this interesting. I think I would use all these tips and tricks if and when the day comes that I do pan a black eyeshadow, because it is really hard to use a black eyeshadow day in and day out. And although I would definitely use a black eyeshadow as an eyeliner as well, it would take a long time to use up an eyeshadow just as an eyeliner. So I think these tips are all valid. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I am a big believer in Franken shadowing when appropriate. Try to make these shades more wearable, more work appropriate, whatever the case is. I'm also a big believer in, for whatever reason, if one of these eyeshadows is not working for you in any way, shape, or form, just toss it. After everything is said and done, it's this much powder. If it's not working for you, and if none of these tips and tricks seem practical for you and your lifestyle, or if after Frankening them, the eyeshadow is still too dark, just throw it out. You know, like, we're all trying to use up eyeshadow, and I am as guilty as the next person, but honestly, you have my permission to throw out an eyeshadow that's not working for you. I'm just gonna say it. You have my full permission to do so. Good morning, guys. I opened my eyes this morning. I came down, I brushed my teeth, I got a cup of tea going. Merry Christmas. And I decided it's time to repress some stuff. As you should have heard in the intro of this video, somebody requested that we give her some ideas of what to do with her black eyeshadow. So that's what this video is all about. Here are the tools of my trade. I have an eyeshadow palette with a black eyeshadow. This is the This is the Urban Decay Smoked palette. Kind of an impulse buy when it was on clearance, and it has a black eyeshadow right there called Blackout. It's one of Urban Decay's most popular blacks. They put it in a lot of their palettes, and I have absolutely no problem with destroying it a little bit. But yes, we are going to be using Blackout as the black. I have also pulled a few highlighters. I think highlighters would be a perfect product for mixing into eyeshadows. I picked this Becca Opal sample because when it arrived, first of all, it was a gift with purchase. I didn't pay anything for it. And when it arrived, it was a little bit shooken up. So as you can see, it's kind of lifted from the pan and there's a crack in it. So I thought that would be good to mix into a black eyeshadow, and it's a really soft formula. But I also like to do a second color just to see how it changes the black. So I pulled some more colorful highlighters. This is the ABH Moonchild palette. And this is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighting palette. This is the first one from the first holiday season. I really wish I had a panel of you guys here to guide me on which one to choose. But I'm thinking like a bluish color, obviously, to mix. Or a purpley color. Or maybe green. All right, let's get to mixing. I also have this empty eyeshadow pan. This is a huge CoverGirl eyeshadow pan. There was a champagne colored eyeshadow in there a few years ago, and I've just saved this for an occasion just like this. I also have my 91% isopropyl alcohol and a little dropper. I have a couple of paper towels. I have a little container that I use to mix, and I have my butter knife. Anyone can do this. My plan is to mix up 2 batches of a new eyeshadow using the black and one of those highlighters, and press 1 batch on this side of the pan and 1 batch on this side of the pan. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so I am just going to take a little chunk of Blackout out and drop it into this cup. Man, this is a really hard-pressed, chalky kind of formula. Do one more. Okay, so as you can see, I took out a little corner of the black. Not much, but you know, we can add more if we need to. That's how much it looks like. It looks like nothing. It really does look like nothing. All right, let's get a little bit of Becca Opal. I'm thinking that I need to at least have at least a 50-50 ratio of highlight to black, if not more highlighter than black, to make this the most wearable color ever. Gotta do it. I feel like this whole pan's gonna fall into my dish. Okay, so I took that much. That should be more than the black. That's what it looks like in there. And I'm just gonna start mixing it up. Wow, after mixing it up, it's still really dark. I'm gonna add a little bit more highlighter in. Okay, that's the final mixture. I'm going to add some alcohol and press that into 1/2 of my empty CoverGirl pan. And we'll see what we get. I have a feeling it's going to be a brown. Oh, this is turning out to be kind of beautiful. It's more, I don't know. It's not brown. It's more bronzy. All right, of course, I poured in too much alcohol. So I'm just gonna let that sit for a couple minutes and let some of that alcohol dry up before I pour it.
Well, it has 4 towers.
4 colors, you're right.
It has 1.
Here, move it back so it doesn't fall off the table.
It has 1, 2.
Okay, guys, it's been about 10 minutes. I've been letting this new concoction dry up a bit. My assistant has awoken and is ready to help and swatch. She has swatched everything. So I am going to kind of scrape out this powder and put it in 1/2 of this empty pan.
And that too.
That too? I can take that too?
See, that one is the blue and that one does a pink.
You're right. Kind of a purple.
Ah!
Oh, gotcha. You're like Julia Roberts. Careful. Don't be all rough with my makeup.
Not the doll. You want this and this. You just hide this one. And you need.
What are you doing?
Down here.
What are you doing?
You just take pictures of these. The 2. These 2. You just no. Look at not like that. You just take a picture of these and tie to these.
Thanks, Hayes. Okay, guys, that's the finished eyeshadow that That mixes the black and opal from Becca. I love it. I think I love it. I haven't actually put it on my eyes yet, but I think I love it. Okay guys, it's time to do this again. We are going to add in some more of Blackout from Urban Decay and a different highlighting shade and see what we get. All right, that is how much of Blackout I have now used between the two mixes. This is how much I have in my bowl. It might be a little bit more than I had in the last one. I may have gone a little crazy. All right, and I've settled, well, I haven't settled. I've settled on one of these two shadows, Purple Horseshoe and Blue Moon, so I thought I would swatch them both and see if one of them speaks to me a little bit more than the other. Purple Horseshoe is definitely more purple. Blue Moon is more of an icy white. I think we're gonna go with Purple Horseshoe. Whoa, you can't see anything, can you? Okay, there we go. I think I'm gonna go with Purple Horseshoe. It's the one I'm less likely to wear on my cheeks as a highlighter. Out of those two, if I was to pick one to actually wear as a face highlighter, it would be Blue Moon. So let's do Purple Horseshoe. This is so soft too, just like the Becca highlighter. All right, that's how much of the Purple Horseshoe highlighter I've taken out. And this is what my cup looks like now. I'm gonna mix them together and see what I think. Okay, so that's the dry mixture. Let's add some alcohol and see what it looks like. Maybe not as much alcohol this time.
What did that do, Mom?
Who?
Where's the wheels?
I don't know.
Were you making science projects?
Always. I hope I didn't just make a blue. That would be a little disappointing. I can't believe it, you guys. I think I made a blue eyeshadow. That is the opposite of what I was going for. I'm gonna let these dry and we will see what the outcome is, but that eyeshadow right there is looking pretty blue. So I'm gonna let this dry and I will get back to you guys on how these look as an eyeshadow on my eyes. Good morning, guys. I hope you're doing well. This is going to be my first eye look using one of the Franken shadows I mixed with black. The black I used was from the Urban Decay Smoked palette. It now looks like this right there. And the lighter shimmery shade is a sample of Becca Opal. I'm not going to open it because it's going to fall out if I do that. The finished product after drying overnight looks like this. It's kind of an olivey, bronzy shade that I'm kind of digging. So that's the shadow I'm going to be applying all over my eyelid today. I'm going to start by using a bronzy base because I've been neglecting this product for the majority of the year. That's my Maybelline Color Tattoo in Bad to the Bronze. So I'm going to start by applying that all over my movable eyelid. I did already apply my brow bone highlight before I pressed record, and I put a little bit of soft brown from MAC in my crease transition area. Good enough, man. All right, so I applied a light layer of Bad to the Bronze. This product is getting old, so it's a little bit difficult to work with. It used to be fabulous. It's kind of sad, but she's an old lady now. That created a nice light bronzy base with a little bit of shine to it. So I am going to go in next with my bronzy-ish concoction, my Franken shadow right there. And I'm just gonna apply that all over my lid into my crease. That black is still really coming through. Watch out. We're going smoky today. It's smoky, there's no doubt about it, but I really like this color. I am going to take a pencil brush and apply that same color to my lower lash line. All right, if you like a smoky eye and you feel comfortable wearing this, you're done. Add some mascara and liner and head on out to work. I am feeling a little bit inspired by my favorite yellows and oranges, yellowy oranges in my Subculture palette. This is New Wave right here and Edge right here. I feel like kind of bringing that somewhere on my eye, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that just for fun. I think I'm gonna go with New Wave. Yes, I think I'm gonna go with New Wave. Careful, careful. Did it do anything? Can you see it? That did exactly what I was hoping it would do. I can't believe that turned out. I feel like it pulled a lot more of the green out of that shadow, and I like it. This is a little bit smoky. I would totally wear this. I have no problem with that, but I'm going to add a little bit of my ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in Valley Girl to my inner corner, along with like maybe the inner third of my inner lid, my inner third of my eyelid. You know what I mean. And lighten things up just a little bit. It's a little bit much for Monday morning at a school. A little. I'd still wear it though. Done. Done. Okay, this is how I use black eyeshadow. I've mixed it with a shimmery light highlighter. I've created a wearable but smoky greenish bronzy golden shade, and I apply it all over my whole eyelid. I really love the way that this turned out. I'm gonna add liner and mascara, and I will show you the finished look. Okay guys, so this is the finished look. I just added some brown eyeliner in my waterline and some mascara. I didn't feel like any eyeliner on my top line, my top lash line was called for because it's already a smoky look. It's good. I added a lip liner in the shade Mahogany from Estee Lauder. It's in my Project 10 Uses, and that's all I have on my lips, and I took my hair out of the ratty ponytail it was in. Here is the finished look. I'm really happy with how this turned out. This is my first time frankening a black eyeshadow, so needless to say, there's a sigh of relief going around. I think the takeaway from today is that this is about a 50-50 mix. So if this look is still too dark for your comfort level, but you are trying to unload some black eyeshadow, you need to add like twice as much shimmery eyeshadow to the black eyeshadow to get it to be a light wearable mid-tone color, because this is still pretty dark for a lot of people. I think adding a little bit of Valley Girl from ColourPop on top helped lighten it up quite a bit, but it's still kind of dark. So that's about a 50-50 mix of the black and the Becca Opal. I really hope you enjoyed this look today. Tomorrow I will be doing a look with this blue I somehow managed to make with black eyeshadow. Dang it. All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Good morning, guys. It's Paula, and this is day 2 of panning a black shadow. Today, we are going to do an eye look with the blue eyeshadow I managed to create, mixing black and a shimmery purple highlight. The black is, of course, Blackout from the Urban Decay Smoked palette. And the purple highlight is from my Anastasia Beverly Hills Moonchild palette. I took a bit of this purple horseshoe right there. I almost dropped the F-bomb when I realized I created a black eyeshadow. No one was more surprised than me. I want to redo because the goal is not to turn black into blue, but that's what we have here. At least that's what it looks like in the pan. Here it is right here. To start off, I have already primed my eyelids and applied a little bit of a brow bone highlight. Before I go in with that blue shadow, I'm going to apply this Tarte shadow stick first to hopefully bring a little light to my eyelid before I put on these darker shadows. Plus, this isn't a project, so I should be using it. This will set, so I'm just going to quickly tap around the edges, well, everywhere really. Next, I'm going to go in with my favorite Dusty Pink Mary Kay eyeshadow and apply that in my crease and my transition area. Okay, it's time to apply my Franken shadow all over my eyelid. I'm going to be using this Makeup Geek foiled eyeshadow brush. I'm not going to foil this, but that would be a good brush for foiling. Just going to take a little bit of this right there. Cross my fingers and see what happens. I'm checking for fallout because yesterday I had a ton of fallout from my other mixture. Okay, one of the things I've really been enjoying with the shadow from my Pan That palette is taking that kind of light lavender shade right here and applying that right in my crease to kind of blend out pink and whatever lid shade I use. All right, that seemed to blend it out a little bit better, make it look a little bit more cohesive, I guess. Lower lash line. Why not? All right, I'm gonna take a little bit of that purpley blue shade and run that through my lower lash line. All right, I might take a little bit of MAC's Corey and blend that out a little bit more when I get to the bathroom. But the last thing I'm gonna do here before I go and put on liner and mascara is add a little bit of Urban Decay's Spectre onto the inner half of my eyelid. It's a shimmery pink pressed glitter kind of product that I like very much. So I'm gonna add that to, yeah, the inner half. All right, I'm all done with the eyeshadows. I am going to add liner and mascara and a lip product, and I will be right back. Okay guys, this is the finished look. I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out considering I accidentally made a blue eyeshadow. The thing is, if you put enough pink on top of blue, it kind of turns into purple, and I love purple. So on my lips, I have Queen Bee from Too Faced. I have one more use of this before I hit the 10 use mark. I'm not crazy about this color, but it's kind of cool toned, and my eye look is kind of cool toned, so I thought I'd put them together. I always feel like it looks darker on me than I think it will based on what I'm looking at in the bottle, in the tube. Kind of browny. I don't know. Once I got into the bathroom to put on mascara, I kind of added on a few things. I put in Makeup Geek's Whimsical into the inner corner of my eyes. I realized I forgot to highlight that. I added mascara. I added a little bit of brown eyeliner to my waterline just because that's what I'm panning. I don't really think brown is the best color to go with this eye look, but it's fine. All right, so this is the finished eye look for my second Franken Shadow using black and purple horseshoe from the ABH Moonchild palette. I never guessed that it would create such a dark color. I think the lesson I'm learning as I'm going along with this process is that 50-50, 50% of black eyeshadow and 50% of a light shimmery eyeshadow is not enough. It needs to be much more of the lighter shadow than the black eyeshadow. But that being said, I feel like I created a wearable eyeshadow that is a lot easier to use than a black eyeshadow. So I'm happy with the look. I will meet you guys back here tomorrow for one more look, and that will wrap up this video. Bye guys. Hi guys, this is day 3 of how to pan a black eyeshadow. This might be the scariest day yet for me. I'm a little nervous, so hopefully it all works out. Today's just a Sunday, and I don't really have anywhere I need to go, but I also don't feel like rocking a total raccoon eye today, especially since it's going to be quite hot out. So the only 2 products I plan to use are a black eyeshadow, and for consistency's sake, I'm bringing black out from the Urban Decay Smoky palette, and this Cover FX Shimmer Veil in Celestial. This is a multi-function product. It can be used in many ways, however you like, but I enjoy putting this on my eyes the most. So I am going to put some black eyeshadow on first and then put this on top of it and see how the look turns out. I have brought 2 brushes. I'm not sure which one's going to be the best for the job, maybe both. This one's kind of a bigger pencil brush, this one's kind of a smaller pencil brush. And I'm going to take the bigger pencil brush, go in with black out, and carve out my eye shape. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop right about there and try to get the other eye to match.
Hello, buddy. I'm so hungry. What do you want to eat for breakfast? Strawberries. Yeah. We could do that. We could do that. I did say we could do this. Peekaboo.
Okay, just to blend out the harsh edges, I'm gonna go in with the Dusty Pink eyeshadow from my Pan That palette and kind of blend out the crease a little. It's pretty dark and smoky. I'm going to take this Cover FX Shimmer Veil in Celestial, wipe it all over my ring finger like this so that I don't get black eyeshadow in the product. Just going to get as much off as I can. And that's how much I got. I'm basically gonna go over the majority of my eyelid with this product, starting on the inside, working my way out. All right, that might be enough product for both eyes. My big fingers are in the way. I think this eye needs just a little bit more. Okay, so that definitely lightened things up considerably. I think this is definitely one way to wear a black eyeshadow, to pan a black eyeshadow. When I get up really close, I think you can see a lot of the problems with layering these two products. Maybe some of it was user error, maybe some of it was not, but I feel like it looks a little sloppy when I get close to the mirror. I have an idea on what to do about that. I'm gonna go over my crease one more time with my dusty pink eyeshadow and try to blend that out a little bit more. And then I'm gonna go in with my Urban Decay Moon Dust eyeshadow. All right, in case of emergency, I brought my Urban Decay Moon Dust palette out. I'm trying to hit Pan Inspector, as many of you know. So I'm gonna go ahead and layer some of that on top of my eyelid just to see what happens. I actually think that helped a little. Okay, I'm gonna add something onto my lower lash line. I'm not sure what, maybe, I don't know. I'm gonna add something onto my lower lash line, some liner and some mascara, and I'll be back to show you the finished look. Okay, I'm back and this is the finished look. I added a little bit of purple eyeshadow to my lower lash line. That ended up smoking it out even more, but it's okay. I added a peach lip gloss to keep it light and bright on the rest of my face, and this is the finished look right here. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.